We've got Pro Football Weekly snap judgments from Wild Card Weekend, the Saturday games, and I think what everyone was talking about was that Saints' performance against the Lions, nearly a perfect second half after they struggled early on. But now they go face a Niners team and they go out of the Superdome, they go on to outdoor field, grass, something they haven't done. They've only done it 5 times this year. Can they bring their show on the road?
And I think people can look back to that Titans game in Tennessee. That's maybe more the type of game that we'll see against the 49ers. The interesting thing about the Saints is that the turnovers really killed them in the first half. I mean, they were moving the ball, and I thought that everything was kind of working out to their favor. I know Detroit got the lead, kind of had the upper hand in the first half, but really came down to those 2 turnovers. Otherwise, I think they might have scored 60 points in this game. So I like their ability, and I think they can play a little bit of a slower game as long as they can avoid those turnovers that kind of killed them against the Lions.
Yeah, no punts all day for the Saints. It was just the 2 turnovers.
Do they have a punter? I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah, he kicks it out of the back of the end zone every kickoff. The other game was the Houston Texans getting the first win in their franchise history over the Cincinnati Bengals. Really, they did it in a way that's kind of your traditional playoff formula. Ran the ball, play good defense, quarterback just makes a couple of plays when he has to. Is there any reason to think that this formula won't work going forward?
Well, it was interesting to watch the game early on. There were some nerves. You saw Arian Foster kind of cough up the ball early on. There were some false start penalties. Yates looked a little skittish. Even Andre Johnson, double caught a couple balls, dropped a few. So I think once they got over that nerve, and I think playing in Houston was a big part of that, they looked pretty darn good. I mean, Arian Foster's patience on those cutback runs, that was the difference in the game. The offensive line really started asserting itself. So, going into a Baltimore, I think the nerves will be gone. They're on the road. They have no pressure on them. Nobody really expected them to get to this point. So I like that formula that you talked about, and I don't think Yates will be a deer in the headlights or anything like that.
It's a formula Baltimore knows pretty well. They won a Super Bowl that way about a decade ago. The 2 teams that lost, the Bengals and the Lions, great seasons from both teams, obviously coming up a little short of probably where they wanted to. But what do they need to do now going forward to kind of build off of this?
Well, the Lions enter next season, I would think, depending on what they do in free agency and the draft, as a team to watch for a Super Bowl. I mean, that's really what you got to say. But they really need playmaking defensive backs. That defensive line can only do so much. We saw it against the Saints. I mean, how many dropped interceptions were there in the second half? That's really what it came down to. We also saw their limitations on offense as far as running the football, had to use reverses, didn't trust Kevin Smith to carry the full load. You get Mikel Lashore back, and I think, as far as Javid Best goes, if he clears for his concussions, they should be in good shape. The Bengals, too, I mean, they just need better tacklers on defense, maybe 1 or 2 more playmakers on offense. They seemed a little bit short. Worked well early with A.J. Green, but couldn't get any big plays in the second half.
Yeah, I think a great season for both teams. Yep. I mean, you have to be happy with how it went. I don't think the Bengals expected to be there, and 9-7, a playoff berth, pretty good season. Yeah. That's our snap judgments from Saturday's games. For the best coverage of the league, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about the NFL Draft, and Pro Football Weekly's new draft database has you covered. Check out updated player rankings for over 750 prospects and our exclusive PFW Stock Watch. Just go to the Draft tab at ProFootballWeekly.com.